The process of alchemical transmutation is really about accepting what is, releasing our ego, and integrating all aspects of our authentic selves, as above, so below, as within, so without. It's really a quest for connecting with our higher consciousness. And those who tread the path can recognize others on the journey as kindred spirits. So let's begin by introducing the 7 stages of spiritual alchemy: calcination, dissolution, separation, conjunction, fermentation, distillation, and coagulation. So let's start with calcination. We will use the fire element. This is all about purification, heating things up. So I will light our sacred fire. Here we are. There we go. Throughout this session, we will be using different elements to support each of the stages, heating things up. We can break things down to their base level. What this means spiritually is that we need to begin looking honestly at what behaviors and thoughts we've been engaging in. Let's take a moment to set our intention. On behalf of your highest, wisest, most empowered, most aligned self, in loving comfort and in perfect balance, I wish to conduct this Reiki session for helping you take those first few steps along the journey of alchemical transmutation. The next stage is dissolution. We will use the water element. This is about dissolving those things which we have used to guard us from the truth. Like sugar in water. This is nice. Lavender and frankincense. Like sugar and water, this is about breaking down illusions so that we can see clearly all that exists within us. Spraying this outside of your heart space here. Just allow this to wash over you, okay? we have separation, and we will use the element of air with smoke. This is holy basil. So in this phase, we will separate the components and then examine them with clarity. I'm just going to do a little bit of clearing here. We're going to need to do a lot of cleansing through this process. You could say a major part of this is cleansing, purification. Next we have conjunction, and we will use earth as the element for this phase. And now we begin the process of rebuilding. We had separation, and now we have integration, putting the pieces we choose to embrace back together again. I'm going to draw the symbols outside of your heart space. Just breathe, breathe, breathe. This gnarly old piece of driftwood seems so magical. Next we have fermentation, and we will use earth and air for this with Palo Santo. So, as with the process of fermenting food or drinks, spiritual fermentation is all about breaking down the remaining behaviors, thoughts, beliefs, and energies of our past selves. We will now enter a phase of deep shadow work. And again, like fermenting vegetables, there will be a lot of energy bubbling to the surface during this phase. This is a time when a lot of your kind of past habitual behaviors start to resurface in order to be cleansed and purified, in order to be truly seen and felt, so that they can be fully processed. It's really about wanting to see things as they are and move from there. So just clearing, using the smoke as our air element, and the wood of the Palo Santo as our earth element. Next, we have distillation. To light another candle here. We will be using fire and water. So, distillation. As we distill all of our wisdom, we enter a phase of self-realization. We've boiled everything down. We've separated it, and now we're condensing it. So all aspects are coming together, and we're distilling all of the lessons we've learned through this process. Like rain, we'll let this wash over you. In the last phase, coagulation, we'll use all elements: fire, earth, air, and water. This is the final stage in the process of alchemical transmutation. You are forever altered. You have met your true self, and you are whole. All of the disparate pieces have integrated. The wisdom has solidified. We have ascended. It's unlikely that we will reach enlightenment by the close of this session, but I want to invite any of you who are brave enough to venture down this path to begin lighting your awareness on the road ahead. So that was a breakdown of all of the steps. Now here are a few crystals that we can use to support us on this expedition of the soul. This first one that I wanted to share with you is really the stone of transmutation, black tourmaline, the transmutation crystal. We all take in unwanted energies, no matter how aligned we are. And it's important to transmute them at some point, or they will build up and block your energetic and your auric bodies. So using black tourmaline can really help with that process. Black tourmaline is great to place near the front door. So that right when you come in, you're just transmuting all the energy from the day. If you want to place black tourmaline in the back of your neck, the mouth of God. That can be helpful just to release any of that energy. Sometimes that energy really gets stuck right here in the heel chakra. So just placing a piece of black tourmaline there, right when you come through the door at the end of a hard day. Or a day even that may not be hard, but that you've just encountered a lot of different energies. That can be really helpful. So for now, what I'd like you to do, because our hands are very receptive points, particularly our receptive hand, which is our non-dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, then you're left-handed, vice versa. So I want you to just take these two pieces of tourmaline. They have been cleansed. I'm the only one who's touched them, and they were cleansing right before we started this session. So place these right in your palms. Just allow that energy to just flow out, almost draining the energy out, okay? Any negative, unwanted energies. Placing those in your palms. Beautiful. The next stone is this beautiful amethyst. We can use amethyst to really harness the violet flame. You know, citrine is just heated amethyst. And this is just like such an amazing representation of transmutation. So this is known as the sobriety stone. This is a stone of spiritual clarity and transmutation. We're just calling in this beautiful divine energy to flow in. Next we have Kumbhava jasper. This is a stone of ancient healing through balance and harmony. It's a wonderful stone to support this beautiful transformation that you are about to embark upon. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I'm going to place this right on your heart space. It's petrified sea algae, so it's really connecting with that ancient energy. Beautiful. So, if you choose to set off on this journey, you will really be shedding the shroud of fear, self-consciousness, longing, and step into your highest resonance. Self-actualization, or some would say breaking down of the ego. So we separate all of the parts. Observe what remains. And then heal what needs healing. And then we bring it all back together. So this is really all about clearing blockages. It's such a personal process. So I want to help you call in the energy that you need to do this work. Really, it's all about coming home. All about coming home. You know, most people who are sober have inadvertently gone through the process of breaking it all down, experiencing that tower moment, and then you're separating all of those disparate parts. It's possible that we have unconsciously have those rock bottom moments in order for our higher selves to be forced to the surface. those moments, the dark night of the soul, they shake us out of our silent, blind reverie, and they compel us to really examine those aspects that are blocking us from ultimate fulfillment. I'm going to place my hands just outside of your hips on your root chakra. Just breathe. This whole process is deeply connected with shadow work. We have to see what we've been suppressing, really look at it. We have to see what we've been denying in ourselves and spiritually bypassing in order to avoid the complexity of the human condition. Things like letting go, just I'm gonna let it go, or, forgive and forget, without truly investigating what it is that we're experiencing. That can be such a huge block in us meeting our higher selves. And we're so, socially contracted, just pulling out any energies in this space that need to be cleared. So socially contracted and conditioned to just go with the grain, to not be the squeaky wheel, to not call things out. Just pulls them out of the mental plane, casts it into the flame. Just to be non-confrontational. And it's just in order to keep the status quo, but most people aren't honest or open or healthy or even happy. The status quo isn't a great aspiration, So rather, acknowledging what we're experiencing, what we're actually experiencing, and then moving from there. That's where this process gets really powerful. Seeing how things impact us. We talk about that a lot on this channel. We often try to digest our food before we've even chewed or swallowed it. There's a process. And we have to process the events and emotions and thoughts that arise in order to fully and truly put them to rest and find peace. Hovering outside of your heart space. Allow the glimmering light from my palms to enter into your sacred heart space. Your beautiful Anahata chakra. So then it's about acceptance. As we heal in the heart space, this is a wonderful time to reflect on acceptance. So we have to look at all the aspects of ourselves and fully accept them. Let's do a bit of clearing. When I was in my late teens, I was so miserable. I was deeply depressed, and I think many people are at that age, especially those who grow up in a similar situation that I did. But I developed a mantra, and when things got too tough, I would just say, I accept myself. I forgive myself. Hover outside of your throat chakra. And when I would go really dark, I would just repeat, accept and forgive, 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 accept and forgive. That's a huge part of this. We have to accept ourselves as we are. If we dissociate away from, we disconnect from the way that life impacts us, we're missing so much of the rich experience of being a human being. Like, not only is it okay that things affect you and impact you, that is beautiful and powerful. It means that you are alive, that you are connected, that you are having the experience, the human experience here. Now that's different from being connected, is different from being reactive, right? We can respond, we can be connected and be impacted by things, and also then choose how we want to respond. But that process, it requires so much wisdom, and the process is all about processing it, right? As we take things in, we have to chew them, experience the emotion, recognize that we don't need to tether that emotion to different thoughts about what that means about us or them or who, this and that, but just recognize that part of being a human means that we are impacted by the world around us. What a beautiful thing. We can be impacted by the beauty of the sunset and impacted by the cruelty of mankind. And that's part of this beautiful balance. You can hold both at the same time. The kind of therapy that I do is integrative therapy. So it's really connecting all of these different pieces, and that's such a huge part of the process of alchemical transmutation. You take this little piece and you look at it and you examine it, and you say, what's this that I've been living with, this rock in my shoe that I've been living with? This is part of me. What do I feel about it, So there's so much here, and so much to discuss and share. I'll start doing a little bit of pulling here. So as we move toward, the fermentation parts, so many things will bubble to the surface along the way. And this, just like shadow work, a lot of people talk about shadow work. It can be very painful work because you're confronting things that you've been suppressing. And very likely we've been suppressing them because we find them too uncomfortable to process. So it can be painful, but the result is a life of freedom and joy. I want to show you one of my favorite little sculptures. This is, if any of you have seen my ASMR channel with Puxy, this is a sculpture from Puxy. Puxy's treehouse. This is a little wooden carving of mushrooms. I freaking love mushrooms. I could go foraging for mushrooms, not even foraging, just mushroom hunting, just to look at them. I think they're so beautiful. I think they're fascinating and gorgeous, and oh my gosh. Anyway, but I wanted to share this with you because I feel like mushrooms are such an amazing representation of transmutation. So one of the final steps is for those aspects that aren't serving your highest self, they begin to rot away. So I used to walk through the redwoods daily when I lived in Northern California. It was one of my favorite things to do. It was very far north, on the border, close to the border of Oregon. It's just absolutely stunning. And the smell of the forest was, you guys, it's like heavenly. And I got this up there. This little carving up there. They do beautiful wood carvings up there. But the whole forest was filled with the dampening decomposition of old storm-felled trees. They were like giants among us. I just think redwoods are the most spectacular, magical beings. They're just so incredible. And the lushness that exists there. Again, a lot of my ASMR channel was filmed in the redwoods, so you can see how much I love them. But that lushness, it wouldn't have been possible without that death and that decay. So the process of transmutation is a process of rebirth. And the process of rot and decay, it's really required in order to sustain the beauty of that place. And that's part of this process too. You will have to release all of the parts of yourself that are incongruous with the life you want to lead, with the light of your inner wisdom. You have to shed it. You can't take it with you. So as we draw to a close, I'm going to take this selenite tower, another wonderful stone for transmutation, clearing, purifying, beautiful. And it's a selenite tower, which I thought was a beautiful pairing with this theme. You know, a tower reaches up and a tower also falls. So we're holding both. We hold the yin and the yang, we hold the light and the dark, as within, so without, as above, so below. It's like when the Buddha starts to see all of the faces at the end of Siddhartha. It's a beautiful moment, and it's that moment of enlightenment. We give over to that higher consciousness, and we recognize that we're all made of the same stuff. And that's where we can find peace, and that's where we can open to serenity. So I'm going to do some final clearing here, okay? And then I just want to use a little rattle just to seal all of this beautiful energy in. And this is sort of like a crash course in alchemical transmutation. And you can let me know if you'd like further information on this, maybe going through each of the steps. You know, we could do calcination, dissolution, break it all down. Let me know if that's something you'd like. I'm just going to draw out any energy and cast it into the flame to transmute it. Gorgeous. When you choose to heal, the healing begins. Okay, my love. We're doing some deep cleansing and deep healing here, so I wanted to use our big boy rattle. It's like a very powerful, potent shaking up of our energy field, okay? So I'm going to start at your crown, I'm going to move down, and then I'm going to come back. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sending you so much love and support always. If you would like to work with me to learn more about Reiki or energy healing, I will leave a link down below if you want to check that out. I love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or your night. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of each other. And until we meet again, be so well.